This is the Akai GX-4000D reel-to-reel. Today we're going to give a demonstration on how to use this Akai. We're going to go over the controls and indicators. We're going to show how to connect the unit to your amplifier or receiver, and how to connect your tape deck, MP3 player, computer, or other input device to this unit so you can do some recording on it. If you already have one of these Akais and you're already familiar with all of these the capabilities of this machine, this video will prove to be very boring for you. It's really this video is aimed at those who may be considering purchasing one of these Akais, and those that are new to owning their 4000D and have some questions about different aspects of it. So with that, we're going to get started. It's going to go over the controls and the other components of the unit to start with. We'll start with the track selector knob. If you leave it in the 12 o'clock position, you're going to listen to the left and the right channels stereo from the output of this machine. If you want to listen to one track at a time, or mono recording, you'll move this switch over into the counterclockwise position, and you'll be listening to either track number 1 or track number 4. If you move it to the fully clockwise position, you'll be listening to track 3 or track 2. Again, if you want to listen to the stereo output the way most tapes are recorded, you'll leave it in the 12 o'clock position. Beneath the track selector switch is the headphone jack. If you don't have a receiver and you want to listen to what's on your tape, you plug your headphones into this jack and you can monitor the tapes that you're playing. You don't have to have a receiver to use this machine. This is your output control. It only controls the level of signal leaving this machine going into your amplifier. Self-explanatory. This is the tape counter, and this is the reset button for the tape counter. These are your VU meters, left channel and right channel. Between the two is a record indicator. When you place this unit into the record mode, this red indicator illuminates and it indicates that you're in the record mode. Next, you have 4 switches. The first one is the monitor switch. You can either monitor the input signal coming into the machine, or you can put it in that's when you're in the source mode. And if you press it and release this button, where it's in the outer position, you'll monitor the tape that's being played on the Akai 4000D. The next one is the SOS, or sound on sound switch. Let's say you have a previously recorded tape and you want to record some music on top of that tape without erasing the contents. You'll press this button and you'll have sound on sound recording. The EQ and tape selector switch, the best way to describe these two switches would be to say that as you're recording, experiment with both of these. You're going to get a little more highs when you depress this EQ switch in the record mode, because it sort of compensates for the slower speed when you're running at 3 3/4 inches per second by adding a little boost to the highs that sometimes get lost at slower speeds as you're recording. So I would tell you just to experiment with it. Normally it's pressed in for 3 3/4 and it's released for 7 1/2. But if you're okay with the sound when you have this switch depressed in the 3 3/4 modes when you're running at 7 1/2 inches per second, no one's going to arrest you for doing that. Tape selector switch, you have the low noise and high range. Again, experiment with it. Low noise tapes are supposed to be played when it's in the out position, and the wide range tapes, you're supposed to have this button depressed. But again, There are no tape selector police out there that are going to arrest you for having this switch in a different position. And again, you want the best sounding tape for your taste. Just experiment with it, and whichever one you like the best, stick with that. This knob controls the left and the right input levels as the music's coming into the Akai. This controls the level that you're going to be recording at. You'll monitor that on your VU meters. Same thing with your microphone inputs, left and right channels. You have to use some external microphones. You plug those in here for the left and the right channels. Okay, moving back to this this side of the deck, we have the tape head cover, and it slides right off. You just pull it off like this. This is your playback head. This is your record head, and this is your erase head. This head stack also has another component that's key to the Akai GX-4000D and other 4000 units. This is the speed sleeve, and what this does is it converts the speed that the tape passes through from the pinch roller and capstan onto the take-up reel from 3 3/4, as it's set up for now, to 7.5 inches per second. Simply unscrew this nut that's holding on, that's retaining the capstan sleeve. It's just a little nut. And then you remove the capstan sleeve. And to change this unit from 3 3/4 inches to 7.5 inches per second, you slip this sleeve over the capstan and secure it with this nut. This sleeve and nut need to either be on the capstan itself or on this storage spot right here beneath the head cover. Otherwise, they get misplaced, and they're almost impossible to find. Okay, so now we have it set up for 7.5 inches per second. Continuing to the right, this is the capstan. This is the pinch roller. This is the shut-off switch. And the way this works is you spool the tape onto the unit, and you route it beneath the heads, between the pinch roller and the capstan, and down beneath the cutoff switch and onto the take-up reel. When the tape has been fully wound onto the take-up reel, this lever drops and the capstan motor stops. Okay, this is the record safety switch. It's used in conjunction with the play record lever. You'll move this lever into the play mode, which is one click over in the clockwise position to engage in the play mode. And if you wanted to go into the record mode, you'd press this button, the record safety switch, as you're rotating this switch over into the record mode. And what happens is this indicator illuminates red. This is your record indicator when you're in the record mode. Okay, when you go back out of the record mode into the play mode, the light extinguishes, and you're no longer in the record mode. Then you can put it back into the stop mode. This lever is for your fast forward and rewind. Move it over one position clockwise for fast forward, or back one position in the counterclockwise position for rewind. This is your pause lever. When it's raised, the unit is in pause mode. And to begin play, let's say we're in play, and we don't want to begin playing again while we're in the pause mode, we'll press the start switch, and the unit will be in the play mode again. and this is the power on and off switch. These are your reel tables. This is your supply side reel table, and these have self-locking spindles, so you don't have to have anything to clamp the reels onto the Akai. Again, these are self-locking. You slip the reel over these spindles, give these maybe a quarter turn, and then they apply pressure to the reel to keep them mounted to the tape deck. Let's take a look at the rear of the machine, and we'll check out the inputs and outputs of the unit. Okay, this machine uses standard RCA cables for the input and for the output. When I say RCA, I mean these type plugs. And you also have the option of connecting a DIN plug that does the same thing. You hardly ever see those anymore, but it has that option. Okay, so you'll take the input from your playing device, either an MP3 player, your computer, or another tape deck, and connect it into this input, left and right inputs, into the input jacks on the Akai 4000D. The output of the Akai 4000D is plugged into your amplifier or receiver, and you can use virtually any of the input jacks on your receiver to connect this unit to. Most of the time you connect it to the tape input, or you can use the auxiliary on your receiver. Okay, next we'll go over how to load the tapes onto the reel and how to thread it through from the supply side to the take-up side. We'll begin with the supply side, and you notice these reels have 3 slots, and they slip over these 3 tridents on the reel spindle. So you line these guys up, and then you line up the slots with those tridents on the reel spindle. After this is snug against the machine, against the reel table, you'll pull this clip out and give it maybe 1/8 of a turn, and that locks the reel in place onto the reel table. Do the same thing for the take-up side. And secure it the same way. The tape runs beneath this tape guide, beneath the heads, over the pinch roller, and beneath the capstan, beneath the shut-off switch, and then you spool it on to the take-up reel. There's several different ways you can load it onto the take-up reel. You can either use the little slot that's on most take-up reels and just slip the tape in the slot and rotate the take-up reel until the pressure is sufficient to pull the tape through. If you don't want to do it that way, you can simply hold the tape on the outside of the reel and wind it on in the same manner. And that's perfectly fine. Or you can simply hold the tape against the reel itself and let the existing tape just run over it if you don't want it to be seen, and just wind the tape. Well, it's sticking out a little bit, but you can just leave it beneath the tape as it's being spooled onto the reel and just let it catch itself like this. And then you have sufficient tension to, when you can move it like this and you see this supply side reel spinning, you know you have enough tension on the tape that, or enough friction that where it won't slip off. Okay, so now we're ready to either play what's on this tape or begin recording. I have a test tone loaded onto this tape, and so when we press play and we put it in the tape mode, right now it's in the source mode, put it in the tape mode, press play, and now it's playing at 7.5 inches per second. This is the leader tape, but now we can hear the test tone I have generated on this tape using the volume control to turn the output up or down. Okay, let's say we want to record instead of just listening what's on the tape. We want to record some new music onto the tape. I have this unit connected to my laptop or to my desktop, and we're going to start listening to a song. Okay, this song's playing on the computer, and now we're going to press the tape source switch and begin listening to it on the through the Akai 4000D. Okay, now we want to record this same song. We'll press the record switch, and we'll move this lever over 2 positions from stop to play to record. Okay, now our record indicator is on. We're recording the music from the computer, but right now we're just monitoring what's coming onto the tape. We're not listening to the actual tape because we're in the source mode. So we'll move it from source into tape. This is the actual recording that's been recorded onto the tape. This is the source, and this is the tape. And I mentioned earlier you should experiment with these 2 switches if we wanted to see what it sounded like when it's in the 7.5 inch position. We'll just release it. You can't tell a slight difference in the highs. And with the low noise and high range switch, this is in the high range position. You can't really tell the difference. Again, this controls the output of the unit. Doesn't have anything to do with what's actually being recorded onto the tape. This is simply the output level. Let's say these meters were way down and we needed to increase the amount of signal you want to put on the tape. You just move this over a little bit. Okay. When it's recorded in that much into the red, that's a little too high. You want to bring it back down. And to do that, you just turn down on the line side. And it's okay if they venture over into the red area a little bit. And again, to increase the volume of the tape that we listen to through the amp and speakers, we just increase the output volume. We'll demonstrate the pause switch. And to begin recording again, simply press the start switch. Okay, and the sound on sound, I think I have, it's a test tone on most of this reel. There might be some other stuff on there, but we'll demonstrate the sound on sound. Because there's obviously some other music on there as well. That's why you're listening to two songs. But you get the idea of it. And to record mono, we would be in either the far left position or the far right position. This would be tracks 1 if I moved it over to the left. And we're only recording on the left channel. And if we only want to record on the right channel, we would move it over into track 3. And we're only recording on this channel. And to be in stereo, we just put it back at 12 o'clock. Okay, this is the Akai GX-4000D demo. If you have any questions about this unit or any questions about your Akai 4000D, hit me up below and I'll be glad to help you if I can.